We started off with Monday Night Morgan, but unfortunately, we did not end that way. These are my assorted thoughts on the June 16th, 2025 WWE RAW. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean. I'm recording this June 19th, Thursday. It's about 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Before we get into it, heal up, get well soon, best wishes and thoughts to Liv Morgan, or the real life performer Gianna Daddio, who plays Liv Morgan, because injuries are always terrible. But with this injury, aside from the general human thing of get well to the performer, storyline wise, this couldn't have happened at a worse time. Not that there ever is a good time for an injury, but in particular, this couldn't have happened at a worse time. The show started off great with as Monday Night Morgan. Liv started off the show with Dom, reminding everyone that they were supposed to boo her. And she also reminded us of all the different plots she's in. Like, she's in a plot with Roxanne and Judgment Day with Dom. Dom there. She's in a plot with in a storyline with for the tag titles. Possibly with Brie Bella. The thinking is it's going to be either Liv and Raquel versus the Bellas, or if Nikki Bella, or if Brie Bella isn't available, Nikki Bella and Rhea Ripley at Evolution. And of course, she started a world title feud with Io Sky, and that was a really good segment. Io came out. I love it how Liv was really entertaining, asking Io just to give her the title. Io, of course, didn't, but gave her the title and then kicked her. I thought that was really funny. Io's really over. They've really been holding her back. Hopefully, she's going to start having some more matches, or maybe another feud soon. Maybe they're waiting till after Queen of the Ring. I thought they were waiting till after Money in the Bank, but now it's pretty much for her. It's going to be after Queen of the Ring. Liv was also on point with her segment backstage, where she walked off in a huff when Raquel wasn't able to help her in her match. And apparently reports are that Nikki Bella was backstage and was going to interfere in the match with Liv and Kairi Sane, moving the conflict at Evolution along another stage. And also there was the whole story of, like, if Io beat Kairi Sane, or if Liv beat Kairi Sane, she'd get a match with Io, maybe something like that. But of course, like, minutes into the less than, I think a minute into the match, it was a simple takedown, and Liv just landed the wrong way. And they showed the replay. You kind of see, like, her elbow lands the wrong way. It looked pretty bad, but you never know with, like, elbow, shoulder injury, stuff like that. You don't know how long it's going to be. At first I heard 3 months, but apparently it's going to be, it wasn't just a night off scrape. She might be out for 6 months. I hope she gets back sooner, but I also hope they give her the Austin treatment from the late 90s. Not that she's, like, in any way comparable to Steve Austin, but she is one of the top female performers in general in WWE, one of the top heels. So maybe if they keep putting her on TV every few weeks, to still progress these stories, even though she can't get involved physically, it would be a good thing to keep her in people's minds. Of course, it might make sense to just have her do a return, but if she does a return, she's going to be, I'd like to say the Royal Rumble, she's going to be a massive babyface. And I think they want to keep her a heel. She's in a movie. Things seem to be going great for her. Really unfortunate turn of events. Hopefully she gets well soon. And that kind of did suck the energy out of the room, so to speak, for the rest of the night. We're going to come back to that in a bit. But I guess what would have been the big takeaway from the night, which still is in a lot of circles, is the fact that the next person to challenge Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, or I guess the first person on this reign, is none other than Goldberg. Yes, it's supposed to be Goldberg's retirement match, Saturday night's main event in Atlanta, Georgia. First of all, I like the way that Gunther tried to deflect the fact that Goldberg was there, but of course, everyone just chanted his name. We knew Goldberg was coming out from the reports. Of course, Goldberg does come out. I'm totally cool with Goldberg having a retirement match, maybe even beating Gunther at Saturday night's main event. I think Saturday night's main event is the perfect venue for this because their matches are traditionally shorter, and Goldberg is not someone who's known for long matches, whether he wins or loses. What I'm wondering, though, is why are they putting the World Heavyweight title on the line? When I heard it was going to be Gunther Goldberg, I was like, but then they just gave Gunther the belt. Wouldn't it make more sense to do it as non-title? Not because, yes, there's the argument that Goldberg doesn't really deserve a title shot in storyline in kayfabe, but sometimes there are other ways they could have done it maybe a bit better, but whatever. That's fine. The thing with me, though, is the fact that the title's on the line and the fact that this is a retirement match. It's almost a spoiler. I mean, they aren't going to have Goldberg win, or if he does win the title, they're going to have Seth Rollins cash in on him right away, which is not going to be great for his farewell match in Atlanta. So it almost says that Gunther's going to win. I'm wondering why they're making this a title match at all. But you know what? I'm not as much a hater of this as other people. I guess let it play out. Maybe a Goldberg victory in his final match and then the Seth Rollins cash in could be an interesting way to go out. And then maybe Seth Rollins cashes in, but then he gets back up and he beats Seth Rollins and he ends a hero. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Jury's still out on this one. I'm not quite a hater yet, but I am, in a weird way, looking forward to seeing if Goldberg can still go and to see what this match will be like. I missed Goldberg's last few forays in the WWE because I wasn't watching at the time. But going back to the energy being sucked out of the room, I think it came back a bit, at least for the end. King of the Ring match. Jey Uso won with tons of interference from all corners. Sami Zayn came out on his side, still being a good guy. I like that they had the bit with Sami got here. They had the bit with Sami and Karrion Kross backstage, and Sami said, "No, I'm not going to, listen to your BS. I'm going to fight you once the King of the Ring is over." I don't think it means if he wins the King of the Ring, this can be when he wins the championship, but or if he loses, or just right after the King of the Ring, we'll see. So we are going to get a Sami Zayn Karrion Kross match. Karrion Kross is getting over on the main event and on his own pretty much. I'm not sure how his in-ring is, it was a very interesting entrance. I've heard some reports his in the ring isn't that good. I can't really remember how good or bad it was, but you know what? That should be a fun match. I don't know if that's going to be a full feud, but if it is a full feud, it most likely means Sami isn't winning King of the Ring. I still hope he does. But yeah, okay, back from the sidebar. It was a good main event match. We had Sheamus and Rusev pretty much canceling each other out, fighting. That's definitely going to be a feud. The crowd definitely seemed interested in that one. We had Bronson Reed getting some help from Braun Breaker. And then, of course, Sami took out Braun Breaker. And then Braun Breaker came back, took out Sami. And then Penta came in. Eventually, Jey Uso did get the victory. And then Seth Rollins came down really pissed. But then Cody Rhodes came down. Seth didn't want to actually go one-on-one with Cody. Interesting. Maybe he's still thinking he's still that babyface. He wants to preserve some of what that used to be. It's the second time he refused to engage with Cody. But, of course, we have Cody and Jey, standing side by side. And that's going to be, so the semifinals of King of the Ring. SmackDown this Friday, we have Sami Zayn versus Randy Orton. And then next week on Raw, we have Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes. So my theory of Jey, in order to get back to Gunther, having to go through two of his friends, could happen. Sami could somehow pull off a miracle against Orton, and Jey could beat Cody and then have to face Sami. I'm wondering, though, if Sami ends up beating Orton, and what if it's Cody and Sami? That'd be an interesting match. I know that the Saudi Arabian crowd, like a Montreal crowd, is very much behind Sami Zayn. I was hoping WWE didn't want to put him in the situation where they might end up booing Cody Rhodes or Jey Uso, but who knows? We might get that. This is actually quite interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens with Cody and Jey, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens with Sami and Randy. It's an all babyface King of the Ring final. It's going to be really interesting. We also had our final Queen of the Ring qualifier. Raquel Rodriguez, of course, did look pretty strong, but she was ultimately taken out by Rhea Ripley. It's sort of as a return for last week, a bit of interference. I think we all knew Ivy Nile wasn't going to get the victory. Stephanie Vaquer actually looked very strong, and I think the crowd really, she was probably maybe their second choice to win. People thought she really could do it, but of course she didn't. And ultimately, it was Asuka who would get the returning Asuka who would get the pin on Raquel Rodriguez after Rhea rolled her back into the ring. You know what? It makes sense. Asuka's huge return after injury. She gets the victory. I think she's unfortunately not going to win Queen of the Ring, though maybe she'll make it to Saudi Arabia. We'll see. But yeah, you can maybe she gets to Saudi Arabia. She has this victory, a second victory. She loses in the final. Still, it's still welcome back. She's definitely a very valuable part of the roster. She looked great. The crowd, the crowd noise didn't seem as into her. I think that was how they were miking it, because when she took off the mask, the crowd went wild. Welcome back chants. Good to see Asuka back. As far as the Queen of the Ring tournament, we have Jade Cargill versus Roxanne Perez. I'm pretty sure Jade Cargill's winning that one. I don't care if there's interference. Then we have Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. There is some history there. It was history from a time I wasn't watching, but that should be a good match. I wouldn't put it past Alexa to win and go to the final, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get Asuka in the final, and I still think Jade Cargill's taking this whole thing. So there, that's my little prediction. Maybe I'll probably do a prediction video after the semifinals, but yeah, it was a fun match to watch. Good part of the card. We had AJ Styles beating JD McDonough. Decent match when Dom to help, because obviously his interference didn't work after the match, and Finn came in. AJ walked off with the Intercontinental title and then gave it back to Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis gave him a title shot against Dom. I'm all at Clash of Champions. I think AJ and Dom is a good match for the IC title. I'm pretty sure Dom's going to retain, but AJ, I could see him with maybe a final run as IC champion, maybe ultimately losing it to Sheamus. It's too bad Sheamus. I think Sheamus is going to win the Intercontinental title this year, but right now he's got to get through Rusev. Nick Aldis, though, has really been throwing his weight around, because after we had a great promo, Becky Lynch. Well, actually, Bayley came out, cut a really believable babyface promo. Becky Lynch came out with the cheap crowd heat of wearing the Chicago Bears jacket. It's cheap, but her and Seth are huge Chicago Bears fans, so it kind of made sense. And of course, there was the attack, the runoff, and Becky said, you got a match, but not for the IC title. But Nick Aldis made it for the IC title. So I wonder how Adam Pearce is thinking about this. Nick Aldis is pleasing the baby faces, but he's making all these championship matches. And obviously he was the one who okayed the Goldberg Gunther match being a title match. Maybe it's not his show. He doesn't really care. In addition to Nick Aldis being there, we also had a replacement on commentary. We had Corey Graves, and he did fine. I think Pat McAfee should be coming back, but it's good to see Corey Graves on one of the main shows. Maybe he impressed them at Worlds Collide. These are my assorted thoughts on the June 16th, 2025 WWE RAW from Green Bay, Wisconsin. It was a small crowd, but it was sold out, and it was a vocal crowd. I enjoyed this show. I mean, this will be known as the show that Goldberg returned, but also mainly the show where Liv Morgan got injured. I think the show could have been a lot better if they didn't have to, stuff it with other things. I think that whole CM Punk, not CM Punk, the whole John Cena, the CM Punk, John Cena promo package, I don't think they planned to air that. I think they had to flesh some things out, because I'm pretty sure Nikki Bella was going to interfere in that match. That would have been a good match. So we have like 4 storylines that are going to need some rewriting, or maybe Liv not being physical in them. So that kind of threw a wrench into the plans, but they still pulled off ultimately quite a good show. And I'm definitely very interested to see where we go with the King of the Ring stuff. Do you agree with my assorted thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. Also, jasoncmclean.bsky.social on Bluesky. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications to get all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, wrestling opinion pieces, assorted thoughts on SmackDown and Raw, and WWE Premium Live Event prediction and review videos. I'll be back with my assorted thoughts on SmackDown after that airs, and then I'll have my predictions for Night of Champions. Until next time, for Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.